Two things I wanted to bring up here because I'm seeing everybody in the South now is getting to know me and they're all ticked off because I said today that I'm not voting for Will Anderson as he's not going to win the Heisman Trophy. The defensive lineman from Alabama. Folks, in Alabama, pay attention, okay? Listen, and listen carefully. If Alabama has a great year and, they do what they're supposed to do and the quarterback plays great, how are you going to vote a defensive lineman? It's impossible. He can't win the award unless the quarterback plays great. But if the quarterback plays great, you're going to vote for the quarterback. What, are you going to vote for the defensive lineman over the quarterback? There's no way. And if he has a great year, but Alabama stinks because the quarterback gets hurt or doesn't play well, and they go 6-5, which is never going to happen, but they go 6-5, well, then how do you vote for the defensive lineman? That is an MVP award. Right? That's what that award is. Well, how many times in the history of the Heisman Trophy has a player from a team that is not a good team won the award? Go ahead. How many under 500 players, how many players on under 500 teams have won the Heisman Trophy? I'm waiting. How many? You name the players. Woodson was great in 97. How many players, and he's the one defensive player that you can consider, that Michigan team was a great team. Anthony Carter was a wonderful wide receiver for Michigan. You name me the player on a bad team that won a Heisman Trophy. And when you do that, then add a defensive player. So after you tell me what player on a bad team won, then I want you to tell me, okay, name me a player on a bad team who was a defensive player who won. There's only one defensive player in the history of the Heisman. What do you think? There's 20 defensive players? Hugh Green didn't win the Heisman. Lawrence Taylor did not win the Heisman Trophy. Warren Sapp did not win the Heisman Trophy. Okay? Brian Bosworth did not win the Heisman Trophy. Now, there's only one player who's ever won a Heisman Trophy, as far as I know, since 1939 on defense. One. But now Will Anderson's going to win when his best player is the quarterback? And that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Because if they go 6-5, quarterback doesn't win, but you can't give it to Will Anderson. If they play great, how do you not give it to the quarterback? It doesn't make any sense. So your argument would be they play great and the quarterback has a lousy year. That would be your argument. They go 11-0 and their quarterback stinks. Now, when Devontae Smith won it a couple of years ago, the quarterback played great. Turned himself into a first-round pick in Mac Jones. And the other thing, Eddie sends me all the stories. This is where First Take fuels the it's the pig at the trough. He feeds it. He feeds the ego, and I can get a chance to eat. The other thing that these writers now how does he only have one SEC team in the top 5? Well, what do you put LSU in there? Well, what, Mississippi State? I mean, where do you want me to go with I gave you one SEC team. Where do you want me to go? Explain. And one more time, loudly, so you folks in SEC country knocking the Notre Dame pick. If it's so good, why don't you go out there, blow off the league, and sign a multi-year contract with ABC or Fox or ESPN? Get paid a fortune, don't have to split the money with anybody, and you could still be in a championship format at the end. All things that Notre Dame is. They don't split a nickel. It's all theirs. They get all the games on television, home or away, and they play in the Final Four every year that they're good. Every year. When you could do that, if you're Alabama, if you're Ohio State, if you're LSU, when you could do what Notre Dame does, then you can be up there on my little list with story programs. And I'll throw one other thing in. When you put together a movie like Rudy or do get Reagan involved and win one for the Kipper and not Gary Busey as freaking Bear Bryant, which was a disaster. When you can do that, we can talk. They're not writing a movie on Shug Jurgen, or whatever his name is, the coach of Auburn. I mean, you guys got to pay attention. Right? You have to get off your little, the little part of the country where you think the whole world revolves around Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, Florida. That does not revolve around there. Sorry, it doesn't. Got the great conference. We understand Texas, Oklahoma, make it better. I get all that. Best teams, they win all the championships. I get all that. But there is only one Notre Dame. They can do anything they want with their football team, be successful, lose a game, get any bowl game they wish, and get into the Final Four. There is not a program in America that can do that except them. And I hate Notre Dame. I go to the games. I got a daughter there. I can't stand it. I've been at South Bend 1,000 times. I can't stand it. I bet. I'm the only guy in America who went to a Notre Dame game and bet for Tech. Swear to God. And I covered. Notre Dame, I got the best of both worlds. Notre Dame scored late in the game, and Virginia Tech was getting 18.5, so I won. I'm the only guy, so I hate Notre Dame. But I'm not stupid.